Should obese children be homeschooled? No. I think if you do this, you are sending a direct message which is saying your kid or your child is not welcome at this school. Or if the child is currently at this school, then it means that we are not going to teach your son or daughter anymore due to how they look. And this to me is cruel, and it really makes my blood boil. That is the message I am getting off this question, which was actually at the Loose All Women panel. And I mean, Stacey was actually explaining that how it actually affects children's self-esteem, and I 100% actually agree with her. I think that if you single kids out and at such a young age, what you're actually doing is setting your kids up to be alone. I honestly believe it. If you are singling kids out, they are going to be hurt, angry and alone because someone somewhere up there in that chain of commands won't let teachers teach your son or daughter the important information that they need to have a good I don't know, a school report, or to have good grades at the end of school. And I think it is really sad that we even have to ask this question at all, because what should be happening is kids should mix with kids their own age, because kids at school are going to have tough enough time going, you know, with bullying, because bullies kids are cruel, and if they can pick up on something actually about you, whether you are big or because I have a speech problem, you know, that is what kids do, because they are not always that nice and they can be very cruel. And at the end of the day, we all want to seem cool to our peers. So yeah, by doing this, they're not gonna appear cool to their peers, which in turn their peers might start going, oh, you don't want to hang around with her or him, he's huge, or whatever else. Because yeah, and this is how bullying starts, and I do understand it, but if teachers take kids out, then it's not going to help, because if teachers are actually in agreement by taking these kids out, then it's just gonna get worse. The problem won't get fixed at all. I mean, if I had a son or daughter and if they all were borderline obese and a teacher refused to, I don't know, to not teach my kid the current curriculum, I'd go mad, because I believe in equal opportunities. It doesn't matter how big or small or between people are. I believe everybody deserves a chance, and I believe in building people up, not tearing them down. This is how bullies work and bullies operate, and I hate bullying with a passion. And I always think, especially kids, because kids are our future, that I think it's more than important that their confidence and self-esteem is hugely important. I mean, I know when I was at school, it didn't matter what size you actually were. It depended on your personality, on how you interacted with other kids, as to how you made good mates. Because if a person is lively, energetic, that person is gonna make more mates quickly than a person who is shy, and don't get me wrong, I know all kids are different, but that is how you learn to make mates, by communicating, by talking, by getting involved in whatever activity the school is actually doing. One thing I will say is, if a child is obese, okay, we have to have a look at what the parents are feeding that child, because it doesn't apply to all parents, but sometimes the parents won't know what their child is eating behind their backs. And I know this because of what I did and my sister did when we were younger. My sister used to eat crisps and chocolate bars, and then it's like, oh crap, let's not let mum or dad find out what we were actually eating. And then in my sister's case, it was stuffing the crisp packets down the back of our couch, which was in turn annoying for me, because when I'd sit down and watch TV, I'd like hear exactly what's underneath me. And I know, because I love, and one thing I do love is egg and mayonnaise carbs, and they are lovely. And I had an obsession start. I don't know how it started, but it did. And I'd eat, and I'd hide it under the couch, and then my sister would come along and go, there was a plate under our couch, that was you, wasn't it? And I'm like, oh dear, busted. Or at times I know that parents like to be cool, or thought of as cool, to their kids, and they almost want to be best mates with their kids. So maybe what they might do is chips with every single meal, or frequent treats to McDonald's, or pastries or cakes off supermarkets. It makes me mad. I mean, it was, I can't help it. If I can see a kid is clearly obese and a parent, because I'm cashier, a parent goes, give this cookie to him, give this donut to her, and I'm like, wow, because I can't comment, and I know the thoughts that are going in my head at that moment in time, and I mean, I just think it's usually a build-up of treats, and because parents will actually go, if it to my kids right now, they are going to raise a generation of kids who are impatient, that will actually go, I want. And what happens if they don't get what they want? Years ago, my mum would be embarrassed if I, as a young girl, nibbled the top of a French stick in the trolley. She'd be so embarrassed at the hill and tell the cashier she was so sorry. Now people are breaking chunks off to give it to their kids. So more and more constantly food is used as a way to pacify kids. And I'm not just talking about babies and toddlers. Half the time, because I watch Super Nanny, I think at times it could be good to get them interested in the shopping or playing games with I also know, because I'm a cashier, that parents will pick up a lot of convenience foods, things like pre-packed lasagnas, patted fish, pizzas, pasta bakes. I mean, I hear off a couple of people, oh, I'm going on holiday, but my son's in the house. Oh, basically it's a treat week for him. But how are we actively encouraging eating healthily if we go and help our kids who eat by cooking pizzas or chicken nuggets, you know? And it's like, how can I put this? I heard of a person, which was a couple of months back, that I heard that she thought a home cooked meal was chicken nuggets and chips, because it was what her parents were giving her as meals and telling her that's proper meal. And I've also heard at her mother, if things didn't go in the deep fat fryer, they didn't eat. When I was at school, and this was for one lesson, I was asked to write down everything I had in this week. This was for a lesson which I was gonna help people, and I heard of, you know, different people that they never had a breakfast, and that they went to the shops first thing in the morning and had crisps and chewing gum and chocolates and things like that. At lunchtime they might have had a pastry or a cake, and then at tea time I can't remember the things that they told us now, or when it was my turn, I actually impressed the teacher because I said, okay, so in the morning I have orange juice, I have ran legs, and I could see this teacher's eyes perking up because she was like, this is a person who is different, and I, for all the right reasons. So I'd have that in the morning. Lunchtime I'd have an egg and mayonnaise carb or tuna carb, and then I'd have that with a banana, and I'd have it with a yogurt even, and it would be a healthy lunch. And then I'd come home and I know that I'm for the evening it was always vegetables, so it was salmon and mash and maybe carrots and peas, a bit of broccoli even, and then the next day I'd have, I don't know, fish and cabbage and carrots. This was what I'd be eating every single day when I came home, and not all the kids in my class were having vegetables a day, and I'd hate to, and this was 10 years ago, so I'd hate to think what kids are eating and doing right now. It is always talked about foods which we have at school in the canteen. Well, there was always pizzas and sausage rolls and things like that. But if I had anything, I only had one. This was a long time ago. If I had one, that would be it. But after a time, I'm like, well, I might want two. So this is how I started putting on. And yeah, I mean, I do agree that we are having a real problem. It is a problem that we want to fix. One, it is about educating. Two, it's about portion control. See, with these pizzas, instead of having one, I have two. And three, it can be about lacking willpower, because when, like, say for example, if you walk in to a cafe and there's carrot cake and chocolate brownies and all sorts of things, naughty things which you shouldn't really have but you want to have, and I think that is how it starts too, because there's lots of choices. There's ice cream, there's whatever else tickles a person's fancy. Or it's, at the end of the day, which people hate, it's all about free will and personal choice. What is happening at the moment is people want to take choices away, and they want to dictate, and they want to enforce things on people who are overweight, and I mean, it's like, how can I put this? Some people, once they know this, they want to change and have a strong sense of determination. And some people have an all or nothing approach, which at times there can be pitfalls to this approach, and that some people need a little bit of help. So therefore there's things like Slimming World, Weight Watchers, and then some people just don't want to change. These people don't want to be shamed because it is nasty. But see, the thing is, change comes within you, not anybody else. People can say they want the best for you, but if you don't want it, then that is again your choice. We have to make people aware it is your choice. You could have an ice cream or whatever else, but you could next week at that rest in town you really want to fit into. It's learning how to motivate people and what they really want. I mean, I go to a Slimming World, and of course, if I am stuck in a predicament, they always do a for and against, and the fors, if I want to make change, they have to outweigh this against list. And I always remember the one club I went to, a consultant once told me, because she told us all, if you are here because of another person, I want you to leave right now. Because even she knew that change has to come because you want it, not because other people want it or society wants it. You have to want it. And I mean, and at the end of the day, it's, how can I put this, it's gaining knowledge and wanting to make change, and it really makes me angry when I hear people are forcing change, fat shaming, and trying to do it through pressure, through guilt. This is what you should be doing, because that is the wrong approach completely. People go, let me cook your food. No, it is their choice, and you can help as much as you can, but ultimately what you need to do is respect they have a choice, because that is what's helped me. It's Owen, I have a choice to go out there and eat as many cakes or pastries as I want. Or then I also have choice going. Do I want to fit into that dress in my wardrobe upstairs? And this is the struggle that is happening with adults. So with young kids, I think you need to take a completely different approach, because kids are constantly picking up new things every single day, and it's how you talk to them, how you explain things to them, and also exercise. Introduce exercises, because it's not just about food, it's how active, kids are, because at the moment the world is definitely all about developing latest technology. Get them out on the streets again, because luckily off me, when I was younger, I played out on the streets. I played tag, British bulldog, hide and seek, always games that kept me active. Let's try and bring it back. Let's try. This is how to make changes.